always fight for our rights.
Solidarity,
solidarity forever.
We are singing
solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights.
People.
Great.
Articulate Nigerian people.
Articulate.
Ever conscious Nigerian people. Ever militant Nigerian people. Let me read this very quickly so that in a while we will not belabor the issues. What is the difference between me and those who elected us to represent them? Absolutely nothing. Why should a Nigerian president not fly with other Nigerian public? Why do I need to embark on a foreign trip as a president with a huge crowd with public funds? Why do I need to go for foreign medical trip if we cannot make our hospitals functional? Why do we need to send our children to school abroad if we cannot develop our university to compete with the foreign ones? Why and why must our people be servants to the foreigners in the midst of plenty? This is Buhari speaking in London on Saturday, February 21, 2015. Everything he has said here is just in a direct antithesis to what is happening now. In fact, it is the direct opposite of what he preached in 2015. A preacher, the integrity of a preacher is not when he's giving that sermon. It is when he is in the room where he is being tested with situations. That is when you can test the integrity. The social media advisor of the president went on to say that the president is a private citizen. I think in agitations like this, the incompetence of people are so much exposed. That is when you know that these people are not competent at all. Why do you say a president of a country is a private citizen? Until this time, there was no adjective added to citizen. We are all citizens of Nigeria. It is until when we started this sit-out, that is when they begin to say the president is a private citizen. Then it will be wrong for a private citizen to continue to use public funds for his medical treatment. That is misappropriation and it is corruption. If a private citizen must treat himself, a private citizen should come to Nigeria, should come to Lut, where doctors are at the risk of getting Lassa fever, of contracting Lassa fever, where doctors are in fact at the risk of contracting several diseases like that. Our hospitals are not functional. Our schools right now, ASU is on strike for the fact that the federal government failed to meet up with the demands, with the MOU they signed as far back as 2013. That's to show us that this government has continued to be irresponsible to the plight of the people. So what we are saying now is either we understand that there is a lacuna in the constitution that does not say anything about the timeline, the number of days the president must spend on vacation. But we are calling on the executive. We are not even sure he's conscious of his environment anymore. Are we talking about the president who was recorded when he was moving on to London, who was saying, are we going to Sokoto? He was asking his aides that, are we going to Sokoto? This is someone who does not understand his environment anymore. How do we then entrust governance to the hands of someone who does not understand his environment? In fact, it is not out of place to say this president is, in fact, they are packaging London for him to look like Aso Rock. Because someone who is not conscious of his environment might think he's still in Aso Rock performing his duties. So we are saying the president should either come back to resume or resign.
Now, we have to admit that this administration is as corrupt as the previous ones. First of all, I have never since I was born, I've never seen any Nigerian president or any American president who travels all the way from America, or let's say the British Prime Minister, for instance, who leaves his country to this, our country, Nigeria. It is an insult, therefore, for our own president to abandon his responsibilities, abandon Nigerian hospitals, even the Aso Rock Clinic, which is highly funded for UK or any other country. What is the meaning of that? You leave us with death traps in the name of hospitals, and then you go elsewhere where people have been able to put in place with their own sweat and labor. So what are you implying? So it goes therefore without saying that these people are aware of the fact that what they have put in place here is of no standard. Therefore, whenever they want something that is reasonable, something good for themselves, they leave us here and then they travel elsewhere where, you know, everything is okay. We say no to that. If we must die, let all of us die inside Lut, or let all of us die at the general hospital. Let all of us die in the Bobby. And that is what we want. That is what we call justice. The Buhari administration is a total failure. It's a monumental failure. And we are calling for that government, for that president to either come back home or he resigns.
So why are they here today? Why are you here?
No, this guy knows on the talk.
Okay.
Okay, we Nigerian activists and radicals who believe in another country want to come here today to remind Nigerians mainly of two things. The first is that the current government in Nigeria has come up with a lot of issues, and one of the main issues they come up with in 2015 when they wanted our vote was that there will never be medical tourism in this country. And that at any point in time, that they will stop all the nonsense yama that have been happening in the before, where a situation where Nigerian hospitals are bad. In Lut now, Lassa fever is the major friend in Lut, moving around, visiting doctors, hospitals, wards, and a lot of other centers. And these politicians who are shouting the change mantra, they have already silent. They are silent on that mantra now. Have been saying that there will not be medical tourism. But now you see that this particular government is a government that is half medical tourism, half internal tourism. And you see, Oshimbajo going around of Nigeria doing tourism from one place to another, looking for a lot of private hospitals, industries, and schools that can be sellable to their friends in the so-called private thieving sector. And you have a situation whereby the president of the country, Muhammadu Buhari, who was voted massively in 2015 with the will of the people, decided to be doing medical tourism. And before, you know, he started with international social tourism, traveling all over the country from one place to another. Now he has started medical tourism, staying over 100 days, you get it, in London. And you have a situation where Nigerians decided to massively move to say, yes, this kind nyama should stop. This mumu that we have been should stop. You get it? And you have a situation where first, in Abuja, the Nigerian police taught the pro-Buhari protesters, you know, the people who believe that the country should continue to be immersed in this badadash, you get it? They taught them how to attack Charlie Boy and the Awamumu Don't Do movement and a lot of other Nigerians, concerned Nigerians. And at the first attack, they moved ahead again to also mobilize people. You know, in the budget of the country, there is a budget they have for kitchen and all of that. But the APC government is very, very sensible. Part of the kitchen budget, you get, is a budget they also earmarked from dissidents in the civil society. People who, over time in the civil society, were brought in by people like Tinubu and co. to destroy the civil society. The so-called activists, you know, come and raid, plenty of them. They got a budget for them, and these people now tap into the budget, mobilize people with money, you get it, and decide to go and attack Charlie Boy and co. This is also what they repeated yesterday at the Wuse market, where they injured people, destroyed cars and the rest. But what we are here saying in Lagos is that it is not between Nigerians and Nigerians. It is between Nigerians who want Nigerians to change and those who want to continue to perpetuate slavery and massive barrack-style government in this country. And you know, these people always have followers, you know. Even where there is good, there will always be bad. You understand? Where there is progress, there will be retrogression. And that's why you see that where there is black, there is white. You get it? These same elements have been, over time, building their forces.
Oh, victory, there is victory for us. Victory, there is victory for us. In the struggle for Nigeria, there is victory for us. Marching forward, forward, never backward, never. In the struggle for Nigeria,